"Get off my lake, or I'm calling the cops." That's the first thing I heard one morning. No joke, I'm standing on my own dock, just sipping coffee, working a fishing line like I have a right to the world, and this woman I barely know is already hollering at me like I broke into Fort Knox. She really called 911, too, for the crime of using my own property. The cops showed up, looked at her, looked at me, and basically said, "Yeah, ma'am, this is a civil matter," which is cop speak for "stop wasting our time." You'd think that'd be the end, right? That was just day one. Turns out, my plan to retire peacefully at the lake was about to get hit with the full force of HOA crazy. No, scratch that. This was next level. Let me back up a sec and tell you how the entire circus got flipped upside down. I'm Adam Rogers, 42, and I spent 20 years slaving away as a corporate lawyer. Always running, always watching my back, always checking my phone at 3 in the morning because some exec thought the world might end over a misplaced comma. The divorce wiped out half my savings, so when I found this cabin by the lake, it felt like some kind of divine intervention. I pictured simple days, sunrise coffee, fishing until noon, maybe a little woodworking, a nap. You know what I mean? Nothing wild, just peace. But apparently, peace doesn't live in HOA territory. So, there I am, Tuesday morning in June. Lake's gold, air's still, and the only thing on my mind is whether the trout are biting. Then I hear a car engine screaming up the driveway, tires spinning, gravel everywhere. A white sedan slams to a stop and out steps a woman who just oozes, "I'm about to make your life hell." Perfect khaki pants, blonde bob, the whole works. She's marching toward me with her phone up, filming, like I'm a criminal mastermind caught mid-heist. "You're trespassing on exclusive community property. This is being documented for legal action," she shouts, phone aimed right at me. And I'm sitting there with a fishing rod, wondering if I'm on a hidden camera show, or maybe still asleep. She introduces herself, Christina Scott, president of the HOA, and goes nuclear, calling 911 right in front of me, raving about property values and violations. I set my coffee down and tried, for maybe the 1,000th time in my life, to be the reasonable guy. "Ma'am, I own this cabin and this dock. Been here 3 months. All the paperwork's legit." But reasonable doesn't work with people who are living in their own private universe. The police finally roll up. Young officer looks more confused than I do, and I hand him the deed while Christina keeps circling, muttering about community standards. After a few minutes of looking over the paperwork and hearing her rant about how I'm single-handedly destroying property values by fishing, the cop says it's a civil issue, nothing criminal, and leaves. You can see the steam coming out of Christina's ears. Now, I'm thinking maybe she'll get bored, but that's when she tapes some official-looking letter to my door. Fancy letterhead, legal jargon, the whole deal, fining me $500 for unauthorized lake usage. $500. For fishing. On my own dock. I'm staring at it, thinking the universe must be playing some elaborate joke. That night, I'm digging through old boxes the previous owner left behind. Old photos, receipts, the usual junk, when I find an ancient property survey from the 1960s. There's language about an original lake easement and primary access to public waterway. My lawyer instincts start firing. If this means what I think it means, I might own a whole lot more than Christina realizes. Next morning, my neighbor Mike Johnson, a nervous guy, usually friendly, shows up, glancing over his shoulder. "Adam, I need to talk," he says, voice low. Turns out, Christina's been selling premium lake access certificates to half the neighborhood, $3,000 a pop, with the threat that the county could fine them $10,000 if they didn't have one. Mike shows me his official seals, environmental compliance language, all the trimmings. I ask how many people bought them. 6 or 7 families, he says. He looks so embarrassed I almost feel bad for him, until I realize Christina's running a full-blown scam on her own neighbors, and nobody saw it coming, because she was the one hosting block parties and putting up Christmas lights. Mike trusted her, and she sold him a fake certificate for $3,000. By afternoon, Christina is cruising by my house every hour, taking photos, documenting violations. People stop waving. Even the old woman across the street watches me from behind her curtains. I check out Mike's certificate at the county office. Sarah Clark, the clerk, nearly laughs me out the door. "We don't issue lake access permits for private property owners. This seal is a fake." Suddenly, We're talking federal fraud. Sarah wants copies of the certificates, names of the victims. I realize what started as a fishing dispute is now a major crime. Mike, devastated, admits they saved for months to pay that fee. I tell him what I learned at the county office. These are forgeries, and Christina's in real trouble. That's when Christina doubles down, taping notices to every door, calling for a mandatory emergency meeting about an environmental crisis. At the meeting, she rolls out a full PowerPoint, fake inspector and all, telling everyone unauthorized fishing has destroyed the protected waterfowl habitat. The fake inspector reads from cue cards, dropping fake laws and science jargon, and then they announce an immediate $1,000 restoration fee per household, plus $500 for an emergency compliance certificate. I'm recording everything, every lie, every fake document. I stand up and ask for the inspector's credentials. He looks like he wants to run for the door. Christina tries to bluff her way through, but doubt is spreading. They push hard for the money, but some neighbors start hesitating. That night, I get a call from the fake inspector. Turns out he's actually Tom Stone, a licensed surveyor, not an inspector at all. He admits Christina hired him for property work, found out my lot included the community's legal lake access, and panicked. She's been building a case to steal my easement and sell it for millions. Tom's got paperwork, contracts, and, get this, audio recordings of Christina admitting to the whole thing. I bring it all to Jennifer Walsh, a real estate attorney. She's floored. My easement predates the subdivision, so I legally control the lake access for the whole neighborhood. Christina's been selling access she doesn't own and planning a $50 million resort deal. If she couldn't force me out, she loses her $5 million payday and owes $2 million back to investors. That's why she went nuclear. Jennifer lays out a plan. We take all this to the next HOA meeting. Tom's ready to testify. I have documentation. Mike brings other neighbors. Christina shows up with her lawyer, but this time the room's packed and the mood is electric. I stand up, lay out the easement, the survey, Tom's audio recordings, Christina's development contract. Mike stands up, shaking with rage, calling out the $3,000 scam. Residents start shouting. Christina's lawyer tries to object, but nobody cares anymore. Christina snaps. She starts yelling. I was protecting this community. This man wants to destroy us. Confessing to everything while her lawyer's trying to drag her out. Residents vote her out on the spot. Mike becomes interim president. They agree to cooperate with authorities. And that's when law enforcement gets involved. Next morning, Christina's loading a moving truck, neighbors watching like it's a parade. A black sedan arrives, federal agents, not moving supervisors. Word gets out. The FBI's investigating Christina for multi-county HOA fraud, witness intimidation, wire fraud, you name it. She's facing criminal charges, bankruptcy, and civil suits from every HOA she's scammed in the last 5 years. My property rights get locked in by the new HOA. Mike leads Real meetings, open books, real transparency. Property values go up, people start talking again. The kids fish at the dock. Neighbors help each other out. It's actually a community now, not a surveillance state run by a power-mad president. Months later, I get a letter from Christina in prison. Full confession, no excuses. She finally gets it. The easement was always mine. Her whole campaign was built on old resentment and pure greed. She used her power to hurt people she was supposed to protect. In the end, she spent her own money to fix the property records, so no one could ever pull the same scam. That's accountability, I guess, though it came about $50,000 and a few FBI agents too late. We never spoke again, but one morning, I see her at the public lake bench, hair longer, face older. She leaves me an envelope. Thank you for not destroying me when you had every legal right to. Inside, a note about new paperwork at the county office, finalizing the easement, ironclad forever. She wanted to make sure no one else could use fake authority to ruin someone's life the way she tried with me. So now, my days are pretty much as I first hoped. Coffee at sunrise, fishing, peace, the neighbor's kids learning to cast lines. Community means something again. Turns out, all it took to finally enjoy my Lakeside retirement was a federal fraud case and the biggest HOA scandal in state history. I still wonder sometimes if the next HOA president will remember these lessons, or if we're all just one ego away from starting the circus again. So, what do you think? Does real leadership come from authority or from accountability? Ever watched a bully get exactly what they deserved? Drop your stories in the comments. I'll be reading every one, probably from my dock, coffee in hand, sun rising on a lake I finally get to call my own.